What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man, and I hope you're having a great day. And if you're not, just remember it's the thoughts in our head, and that's kind of what's going on with me right now. So I felt like you might as well share. We share when things are going great, and not that they're not going great, but I think mentally today's like a weird day, man. I'm not really sure what's. Well, I'm just gonna share it with you, and it's a Thursday, right? So Thursday's usually B&I day, and I think for me, sometimes like if I'm not like feeling right, I think I sometimes just like get in my head, right? Like I get in my head, and then all of a sudden, all these thoughts of like, um, I don't know, man. It's just like not good enough, not doing enough. Why haven't I hit what I need to hit yet? Like in terms of my goals. So got home after I washed the car because that was another thing. I was like, man, I haven't let the car go like that in a minute. So it felt good to get something done. I got a plan to get some work done here shortly, but I think I need to reset myself and just the thoughts in my head. So a lot of like not good enough. Why am I not succeeding? And not like, and again, someone from outside in somewhere in a different perspective, be like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? And I think that's important to like, consider and parts of these podcasts. I think relate to that or point to that where it's like, sometimes you just have to you have to look behind you and be like, yeah, okay, at least I'm not there and I'm doing a lot better. But again, I felt like this would be just a raw episode to just kind of talk about what the fuck I'm going through in this moment. And again, I feel like it's temporary. I just need to put myself and do the things that we talk about on here, right? So like obviously it's something physical, change the thoughts in my head. So my plan is to do some meditation coming up. I'm gonna do a little bit of the Joe Dispenza stuff because I've been on that for a minute and I'm enjoying it. The stuff that he talks about, I would align with, and I would say I've aligned with that stuff before even really jumping into and finding out more about like his story, things like that. So the whole alignment of like getting your feeling right, like feeling that love feeling and feeling appreciated and all those feelings that come to mind. And then transmuting that into the physical and then the outside world. I think there's something there for sure. So my plan is to do that. Just kind of get my thoughts right, get my feelings right, and then slow down. I think my other issue for me is like on a personal note is like I want to see like I always swing for the fences, bro. Like I swing for the home runs, you know what I mean? Um and it's funny because like when I used to play baseball as a younger lad, there was one time where I fucking crushed the ball. I got good contact, and I'm not walking, but I'm jogging at first. Like I'm like this is the home run, and it fucking hits the top of the fence and bounces back in. And I think I only got a single from it because I jogged. So, I think the universe was trying to tell me something way back when, and I just wasn't aware enough. Thinking about it now, it's like, dude, maybe you're just not meant for home runs. Maybe you're just meant for, singles and doubles and maybe some some triples. I believe I had like an in the park home run, so I was fast enough to run all the fucking bases, but I just never felt that feeling. Never felt the feeling of hitting the home run. So, again, see, like it just like I'm like, fuck, man, why not? But again, was it? And then I ever revert now back to just like, was it more just dedication, more practice, more do? And I think that's it. I think there's lots of things where I'm happy where we've accomplished certain things, but there's always like that questioning of like, did I do good enough? And then two, if I didn't, is this why I'm getting what I'm getting? Like, is this why I'm not I'm not at the place, and you know, and obviously, so like checking the phone sometimes, like working like on social and making sure you have to post and things like that. Like, obviously, it's just part of the. If that's part of what you need to do in order to gain attention, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's like a huge transaction. And I've said this before. It's like I feel like the society we live on is just a huge transaction. Like we wake up from whatever time you wake up to whatever time you go to bed. It's a transaction, and like it doesn't really stop. Like there's transactions like going on throughout the world when you sleep, all this stuff, things like that. But I feel like it's just a huge transaction. And so you have to really figure out like, and I think for me, there's two things. One, you have to figure out what's the best way that you're going to use your time and skill to transact something to either a person, whether it's a service or a product. Like that's very, very simple, like very simple, but that's exactly what it is. It's like, where am I using my time and space to create something, whether it's a product or service, to someone else that's willing to consume it and exchange services, right? Exchange services, or in this case, monetary value. So for me, I feel like I would say I probably have ran on the emotional side of things to be like, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is why I want to do it. Be creative, and vice versa. And the more I think about it, like the more I ponder, I start like believing the fact that like it's this, it's the podcast, it's sharing these stories, being the connector, between other people that may be dealing with certain situations, and then giving them enough context, light, information, perspective, fill in your favorite vocabulary word, where it provides and it gives some sort of value. And so, that's what I'm working through. I'm working through that process, and I guess the other thing too is like going back to the baseball story is like if I were consistent enough, if I kept playing, I probably would have at some point scored a home, like hit a home run at some point, right? Like it should be inevitable, and so I'm holding on to that feeling as far as like as long as we continue, or in this case, my personal self continue to provide like real stories that move people, and I think that's what we're going to, stories that move people. Perspective that moves people, or perspective that gives people the ability to feel good about themselves and move forward and change for a long period of time, then the growth or the home run will come. And I think there's sometimes, and this is exactly, again, this helps me think about things, because I'm like, sometimes I think about like, man, where's the home run? But if I look back, it's like, man, look at these singles and doubles and triples. Like, to know that people are continuing to listen, to know that people are listening across the whole world, right? So there's countries that like 65 countries, it's a big thing. It's kind of cool. So that definitely helps put a little more positive energy in my tank to keep going and keep doing these things. I think sometimes what doesn't help is like and I think we all go through it. It's like we see others feeds or others like stories, and we're like, man, what the fuck? Like, why haven't I done that yet? But I think it's very simply, you just haven't done, you haven't done it. And obviously like there's so many ways to get to a certain level of, whether it's business or travel or or just having support. And I think sometimes that becomes like the case where it's like, you kind of look at your stuff and you're like, man, well, how come, where's my support versus like someone else who's got like millions of views or followers. But again, everyone's got a different journey and a different story. So I think it's just keeping those things in mind, and then just continuing to work on the things that make sense for you. Identifying the things that work for you. And like, again, for me now, it's doing this makes me feel a little better, puts me in a better state of mind than I was 20 minutes ago before I hit start. And then it's also, I would say just having a plan. So like once you're able to identify like what is your plan. So for me, it's like a little bit of meditation. I may hop in the ice bath as well. And then I got a couple of things that I need to knock out We got a trip coming up. Hopefully, there'll be a special guest on that trip, which will be a really good one. I met him a couple years back, and that would be a really good podcast that we can hop on. Really great story. What else? I guess the other thing, my last thought was, focusing on the stuff. So in my head right now, because of the trip coming up, there's a couple trips coming up. Because of those trips coming up, and just the notion of like making sure everything's paid for, we have everything, people are set, places are like where we're gonna stay, all these things. Like there's a little bit of extra pressure of like making sure that we use what we have wisely, right? So that way we don't put ourselves in like a hole. And I think that's weighing on me a little bit. But I know that the investment is worth it. So I think there's a couple things. One, focusing on the things that you have in hand versus, what you have in hand, and then focusing on what I don't have and what I want. Because then it takes time away from the things that are in front of you. And those things that are in front of you will lead you to the things that you'll get in hand. And so that is my other aha moment for you as we speak and as we talk this thing out. So, thanks for listening. I appreciate all of you very, very much. Continue listening. I have two asks. So there's two asks from me is, share. Like, I would love for you to share your favorite episode with someone that needs to hear it. You don't need to put it out. If you put it out on social, great. But if you want to just share it personally to somebody that may be going through something, any of these episodes that resonate with you, I would love to continue to grow the community. Because obviously, once we grow the community, there'll be an opportunity to obviously do more things, and even create more content, like have more free time to create the content. We have some great ideas to do it, but again, you have to execute these ideas, and then in order to execute, you have to have the time to put all those things together. The second ask is I'm working on updating the website. So for right now, it's updated, and I've thought about how can I get the community to help support the channel. And so we put together a sponsorship. So the idea would be anybody, you don't have to be like a large company or anything like that to be able to sponsor. Very simply, if you go on the website, it's $149 to sponsor an episode. Obviously, we'll shout you out. If there's a message that you want to say to anybody, we can shout it out on the episode. And the best part is like ultimately you just buy a t-shirt for $149. So we have that on the website. So if you go to it, it's $149. You buy the t-shirt, and that in essence is sponsoring an episode or sponsoring the channel. And then, leave us a message on if you want to say anything, but we'll shout you out. Anybody that does buy and sponsor will be shouted out. And then working on like a page of people that have sponsored and paid. And I would say the third one would be to follow us on Instagram, because I think that would be a great way to actually be able to communicate, grow the network, the community, the platform. So necessarily three things, share one of your favorite episodes, sponsor an episode would be great. Get an awesome t-shirt for $149, and then follow us on NCUYD on Instagram. I had to change it back. I had it on Spiritual Hype Man, but I'm like, I think for what we're doing, nothing changes until you do, or NCUYD podcast is the way to go. So I changed it back, but I will continue to be your Spiritual Hype Man under NCUYD for sure. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you're doing well, and keep crushing it. Just don't forget, nothing changes until you do. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.